Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Marketplace with Uche this evening. Oh, I welcome you all. It's a very wet city. It's a very wet day in my city, Port Harcourt. I hope you guys are feeling as chilly as I am here. I just want to welcome you guys. Um, um, it's time for us to discuss. If you're in the city of Port Harcourt, maybe you need your tea to warm you up while we talk about how to transform you to become a great leader. Yeah. It's I've been getting um so much messages. I've been getting so much messages concerning, oh, Collins, I welcome you. Yeah, great to have you also come up. I think is Collins. I welcome you today. Thank you for showing up. I believe that we're going to have some interesting time here today. Um, like I was saying, I was saying that we have, I've gotten a lot of feedback concerning our leadership series, and people are excited and they say they don't want it to end. But at some point, we will end it because we're still going to move on we still have like four other topics we need to deal with before the end of the year. I also see that the Fifth Eye just joined us. The Fifth Eye, welcome on Instagram. I want to welcome you, the Fifth Eye. I don't yet know your name, but I believe I will soon enough. You guys, welcome. Like I was saying, a lot of people are giving me a good feedback concerning this leadership series. But we have other things that we also need to do before the end of the year, and that's career development. Then we'll touch a bit on personal finance. Then we'll talk about relationships before we come back to business. That is how it goes round for us every year. So welcome. I believe I've stayed here for some time because I believe that Nigeria and indeed Africa, there's a dire need for there's a dire need for leaders to emerge. So that's why I do this. I do this with pleasure. I take all the pleasure this day um, to talk about leadership. So now we're talking about managing your emotions as a leader. How do I manage my emotions? This is what we're talking about today. So let's just go right into our presentation for the day. Okay. Um, when you are managing a challenging situation, say at work, at school, or any other activity or whatever activity, sometimes stress can get the better part of you and make it difficult um, to control your emotions. We are all human beings. When we're subjected to pressure, things can happen. Things can happen to us when we're under pressure. It makes it difficult for us to control our emotions. It is something that we have to train ourselves to do. It is something we need to train ourselves to do, to control ourselves when those things come. And leaders, because every the eyes of everybody is on the leader, watching what you're doing. You are the number one topic of discussion as a leader in your office, as a leader in your church, as a leader, wherever you are leading, you are the center of attraction. All your mistakes are out in the open. Everybody is looking at you. Everybody is watching you. So it is not it's not easy to be a leader, but at least it's a tough job, but somebody has got to do it. If you watch, President Obama, it takes him a long time to express himself because he has to weigh his words, because his words can cause nations to go to war. And so you see that he's slow, and no matter what you say or do to him, he will not show any physical sign of anger. Most of those things. Why do that? In general, emotional reactions to any situation, have a strong possibility of making things worse. Sorry. When you react based on your emotions, most of the time you make the matter worse as a leader. Keeping emotions in check. We have to learn to keep our emotions in check is a trait we consistently see in great leaders. So tonight we want to talk about how we can put these emotions in check so that we can transform to become great leaders. Okay. Let me quickly tonight. I want to give you 5 quick tips to help you develop to control your emotions better. I want to give you 5 tips that can help you control your emotions better. The first tip is learn to respond instead of react. Learn to respond instead of to react. Take a moment to pause and consider what just happened. That can save the day. Something has gone wrong. Let us take time and pause and consider what just happened instead of just instantly reacting to new information or to new situation. What just happened to us? I met a guy. And he was complaining to me, and he said, look, this happened in his company because I think at that time, his management asked him to come to Lagos, come and explain why he took a certain decision. They did not tell him if the decision was good or bad, but they just said, come and explain. So he was like a bit scared. He came to me and was asking, what should I do? And I told him that why didn't you wait 1 or 2 days? He said his management was going to ask him why didn't he do anything that he needed. In the company, they always say be proactive, be proactive. I said, but being proactive does not mean you need to respond or you need to react to every single thing. So he said he was being proactive, so he had to take the first decision. And I told him most of the time, when we take that first decision, when we react instead of responding, we always make a mistake. So what happened, you have to learn. What you can say is that you can report to your management and say, look, this is what happened. I am trying to gather facts so that I can report exactly what happened and I can make my recommendation. Every serious management will listen to you. They will say, okay, yes, in 2 days, please, in 2 days or 3 days, or how many days you ask, we will be waiting for that report. That is the way. Don't jump up and begin to react to things. You hear an information, oh, that one staff has run away with the car, or we cannot see somebody travel. Whatever the situation is, you need to pause. Don't react. I had a situation where there was a GPS tracker in a company car, and after a while they couldn't track the car anymore. They couldn't track the car, and the staff that went out with the car, they realized that the driver wasn't in the car and the guy was driving after a while, and the car, they couldn't see it on their GPS anymore. And the manager just reacted. He says, go and get me police, and let them start. Not giving it a few days to try and maybe get across to find out what is happening to this guy. If it doesn't mean that the guy has stolen the car, has run away. Things happen, you know. And at the end of the day, first of all, the driver was sick. First of all, the driver was sick, and they had vehicle malfunction. And by the time they got an electrician to fix something, the electrician cut off the wire connected to the tracker. So they were going through issues, and they're thinking that, you know, and at that time, he looked to the staff, who was actually their best sales staff at that time, and it looked as if the company was more interested in the vehicle than somebody's life. So when he came back, they gave him query and do all those things. He answered, you know, but the following week he resigned and went to a competitor's company because he didn't understand why his life was threatened. He had a pregnant wife at home. He was stuck somewhere because he went for a meeting. He had to drive when he didn't want to drive. And now you are querying him, not even finding to say, sorry, what happened to you? You know, that was just uncalled for. And they lost their best sales staff to competition, you know, and they didn't really recover. They didn't really recover. So you, as a leader, you must be able at every particular point in time to pause and know what happened, take the next best action. By taking a few seconds to pause and consider, what happens is that you are calming yourself down. You can calm yourself briefly and you'll be likely to produce better results. You are the leader. Something goes wrong. Tell everybody, guys, calm down, calm down, calm down. And even inside of you, there is turmoil going inside of you. You are telling everybody, calm down, relax, guys, calm down, relax, calm down. You know, everybody begins to calm down because they think that you have you have the secret. You know, they think that, oh, you have a plan. Even when most times leaders don't have plans. It's just that they just need to act. And God just helps them, because really sometimes things happen. The leader is as clueless as you, but he has to take the lead. He has to take the lead to tell you to calm down. When you say calm down, you are actually calming yourself down and say, guys, let us critically, what is happening? Where is this vehicle? Is there any way we can locate this guy? Can we go to the wife? Can we call this? Do you know what happened? Where was the last place they visited? Let us trace something instead of assuming the worst, you know, that they've stolen the company car, or they had two ideas if he has stolen the company car, or that he's using it for personal his own personal things, doing his own personal activities, you know, and because of that irrational decision, they lost someone. So do not learn to respond and not to react. No matter under whatever pressure you are, whoever is asking, whether it's your MD, chairman, or president or governor, if you do not have all the facts, tell them, sir, this has happened. Report what has happened and tell them you are gathering facts to understand, and within a certain amount of time, within 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever you ask, I will give you a report, sir. And calm everybody down. I bet you over 80% of the time, when you take that decision, your response, when you take you will produce a better response than to react immediately. Okay, let us look at the second tip. The second tip of how to control your emotions. Focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can control. Once you have been presented with a stressful or emotional situation, try to identify what you can and what you cannot control. Do not try to don't try to begin to respond to what you cannot control for now. Look at it. Which one is within my power to do right now? Which one can I change right now? Concerning the guy that went missing, what can we do right now? If it's me, let us send another vehicle to go and find out that they are not in any accident. Let's send a search party to find our people. Let's begin to call to ask. That one we can control. What can we do now to control, to locate our staff? You know, because for me, if I know that my company is looking for me and they're asking questions to locate why they can, they're asking questions to locate me and to know why I am not, the GPS tracker is not, you know, I will be glad that at least they're looking for me and not looking for the vehicle. So what can I control? The one that I cannot control is the tracker is not working. I don't need to begin to call the IT guys. Why is this thing not working? You can do that, you know, but that is not priority at the time. Tell me what went wrong. Let some people be looking at it, but the ones that you can control, begin to assess what has happened. What can I do immediately to start that process of recovery, restoration? What can I do? Do those ones immediately, then leave the ones that you cannot. If something is done, you can't change it. There's something you can't undo what has happened. You come to the office, your half of the building is burnt, or they call you in the middle of the night that your office is burning. And by the time you get there in the morning, half of it is burnt. You can't undo it. But you can only determine what can I do now. So that which you can do, focus on what you can do now and leave the ones you cannot do right now. When you control your response to a certain degree, you are likely to control what happens next. When you take decision and handle the things that you can control, most likely what it does is that it begins to, by focusing on what you can control, you are empowering yourself. And when you know, you become excited that you're doing something, it's just like somebody coming and you are confused. Then all of a sudden you start doing something and people start following you. Before you know, it's just like you come to a building that is burning, everybody's confused. Then you now decide that let's start pouring sand or let's start pouring water. And people begin to follow you. You realize that you are energized, you are empowered to begin to do things, and you begin to have ideas. Ideas begin to come. You know, and that is what happens. And that is what happens when you come up and when you begin to do the things that you can control. It empowers you. By dwelling on things you cannot control, it disempowers you, even demotivates you, and make you more frustrated and more stressed if you focus on the things that you cannot do. So please focus on the things that you can do. Okay, I can also see on Zoom right here, Lamine Cisse has joined us here. Welcome to Zoom. And to the rest of you on Facebook, Instagram also, I welcome you guys. So now this is the second thing, focus on the things that you can do. Do not focus immediately on the things that you cannot do, because it can lead to more frustration. Okay, the third point of how, the third tip rather, of how you can control your emotions is figure out what is important right now. Don't try to do everything. When you are presented with a challenging situation in life, it's important to prioritize what things you have to act on now. In fact, that is the best decision you can make in a crisis situation. What can I do now? Once you can figure out what you can do now, like I said, in the last point, in the last tip I gave you, it begins to empower you. And once you are empowered, your creativity goes to work. Your creative juice begins to move. What can you do? I saw this example. For example, you are rushing to a very important meeting. You know, because the devil tries to tempt you at some time and to make you lose focus on what is important. Example, you are going for a very important meeting. Maybe you are asked to make a presentation. I know promotion might come from it. Then you realize that because you are excited and jittery at the same time, you get to your headquarters of your office and you mistakenly lock the key inside the car. I don't know if it has happened to you. You off the car, but you are trying to bring out something from the back seat. So in order to bring that thing out, you drop the key inside and bring it out. You know, I know not now that most cars you can use button to open it and close. Those days you use key. You know, some vehicles you can just press it down and lock it. All the doors will lock. What if in that situation, you know, you lock the key? What do you do? The meeting is important. What do you do? Are you going to now begin to say, let me go and look for vulcanizer, to look for a panel beater to open the vehicle, or you're going to go to the meeting? I will suggest that go to your meeting. That is, you see, there's opportunity that comes once in a lifetime. And that meeting can present that. The car can go, but that thing that happens inside that meeting can replace the car. It's important, very important. Except the meeting, you are the one chairing the meeting, they can wait. If not, I will suggest that you deal with the car later and go for the meeting. Or you go for the meeting, show your face, tell them I have an issue, look for someone that can do it, but make sure that you figure out what is important per time. The meeting is more important. Also, depending on the crisis, because when things really want to go bad, they go south. When things really want to go bad, sometimes 5 things can go bad at the same time. What do you now do at that time? So many people, what they do is that they freak out about little urgent matters and lose sight of what is really important to them to focus on first. You can say, concerning this example I gave to you, you can say, oh, okay, let me just take a few minutes and sort this thing out. They will understand. Don't freak out with little things. Weigh everything and take the one. Prioritize everything and take it in order of priority. Do the most important things first. Taking a few minutes, a few moments to pause and consider what it does, you can now refocus your mind on what's most important right now and prioritize your plan of action. The first thing that is important to every leader, it is to pause and consider. Pause and consider what just happened. Once you can pause and consider, and don't freak out because of something that happened. Once you pause, consider, you can refocus your mind on what is important, you prioritize and take it. Most of the time, you make the right decision and you solve the issue faster than trying all your best to try to solve 2 things at the same time or take the least important thing. It makes leaders fail. It will make you look as if you are not a leadership material. And when people that are in position to promote you begin to look at you as if you don't have a leadership quality, it will be difficult for you to climb that ladder in that company, in that company, or even if you have your own company, in the eyes of your clients. It might not be they might not see you as that leader that they can give you most of the contract or most of the things they outsource. This is a very important tip for anybody that wants to be in leadership. The fourth one is know what you can handle anytime. You need to know what you can handle anytime. It's been said that if people, assuming now, they get everybody to come into a circle, they say, take all your biggest problem in life, carry it and put at the center of the circle. If they maybe gather 20 people, let's hold our hands. Everybody, take your worst problem and put it in the center. Then they now say, okay, now that the problem is there, I give you people opportunity. Leave your own problem, pick another person's problem. And you realize that everybody will pick their own problem. They will pick it back and say, look, let me hold this one. Because sometimes you think that your problem is the biggest. When you see other people's problem, you go to church and do Thanksgiving and say, thank God for this small problem I have. Then you realize that people have issues. What does it mean? What do I mean by that? Whatever challenge you are facing, whatever challenge you are facing that may cause stress or negative emotions, it means that you can handle it. When you take back your problem, it means that you have capacity to handle it. Don't admire or look forward to another person's problem. You might not have the capacity to handle it. There's a saying, they say an old man an old man one time suggested that we ask ourselves this question at the time of stress. Am I going to die right now? If something happens, ask yourself, am I going to die right now? If the answer is no, then realize that you can handle that situation. No matter what befalls you, ask yourself, am I going to die right now? Is this thing going to take me out? If it is no, that it is the pain or lack of wisdom or fear of the future that is your problem, then you know that you can handle whatever situation that is before you. Because God can never tempt you above what you can handle. We serve a great God. He cannot give you a problem that will kill you. Anything that comes your way, that is permitted to come your way, is actually to groom you to become a better person. It is not to kill you. It is not to destroy you. So if that thing cannot kill you now, then that thing will never be able to kill you. But most people give up, especially when they find themselves in a situation they feel I'm finished. You come to the office, you see that your building is raised to the ground. You say I'm finished. Or you come back home one day, you see that everything you work for has crumbled to the ground. You say, I am finished. Some people don't have what it takes. They say, I don't have what it takes to do it again. But if it happened to you, anything that has happened to you, you have the grace to do it. As long as that thing that happened to you is not taking your life at that time, then you have the grace for it. Let me tell you, a living dog is better than a dead lion. Any day, anytime. A living dog, once you have breath, there is hope. And once you have hope, you can bounce back. But somebody that is dead has no hope. It is death, then judgment. So you, as long as you are alive, you have hope. It means that you can come out of it, no matter what you face as a leader. So sure, some situations are extremely difficult to deal with, but step by step, you can find solutions and move forward. First thing you need to do, take time and pause and take time, analyze what has just happened to me. What can I control? What can't I control? What do I need to do right now? And because I am not dead, it means that I can I can overcome this. If you take the first four, if you take the first three tips and you get to this fourth one, that is the tough one, you realize that you can cope with it. If you pause, you will know what to do right now. Don't, after you have cried for a while, you need to get up, prioritize, and know what can I handle, what can't I handle, what can I do now? And once you are able to do that, you see that you have started the process of bouncing back as a leader. Because let me tell you, one of the things that makes great leaders is people that have the capacity to come out of severe and difficult circumstances. The more issues you have, the greater leader you will become. Most great leaders have gone through terrible things in their lives and they bounce back. So one of the things that God, as far as I'm concerned, God uses to train leaders is to allow them, permit them to go through certain things, to build them, not to kill them. So whatever you might be going through here is not meant to kill you, it's only meant to make you stronger. Okay, the fifth tip I want to give to you now is the fifth one is change the meaning you give to negative events. What you call something is what it becomes. This guy, author Tony Robbins, says nothing in life has any meaning except the meaning you give to it. Nothing is that difficult, unsurmountable, until you call it unsurmountable. So nothing has any meaning except the meaning you give to it. The more you practice the point, the more you practice the points above, which I've given, especially pausing to respond, realizing that you can handle any challenge, the more you will start to view events as more neutral than negative. The more you take these tips, when something goes bad, take the first four of these things, take the first tip, the first four tips, and begin to visualize it. The more you visualize it, you realize that you are coming to a neutral point, not a negative point. You've not moved to the point of it being positive, but you have moved away from negative to become positive. And everybody, the first thing I'm trying to make you realize is to move to the point of being neutral. If you're neutral, you can view things very well. But if you are not neutral, you are either positive or negative. But nobody is thinking, nobody will be in a positive state when they are going through calamity. But if you continue in that way of trying to analyze what is happening, taking a break and doing the ones you can at that time, you find out that it will move you to the point of being neutral. You will even start finding good in difficult situations. You will start enjoying handling difficult situations because you know that when people now find you to be able to handle difficult situations, you become high on demand. People will begin to demand you. And once the demand for you goes up, you know that your value also will go up. So start finding good in difficult situations in terms of what lessons you can learn. And those lessons you can learn will help you develop the right skills. And you are now motivated, and new motivation you can gain along the way. You become more valuable. And what is the marketplace looking for? People that are valuable. What are CEOs, organizations looking for? People that are not afraid to confront situations and come out of it. And these are the things that you put in your CV. These are the things that you put in your CV. That I was able to do this. I was able to do this. When my company had this crisis, when my company had that, I was able to do this. I was able to do that. And people can look and they can see that competence in you. So try as much as possible to begin to learn from everything that has happened to you. It will help you to have the right mindset and control your emotion. Don't call it what other people are calling it. Don't call a conspiracy what they call a conspiracy. Don't call it that. Call it, because whatever you call it, that is your reality. Remember the quote I just said, nothing in life has any meaning except the meaning you give to it. The skill of turning negative into positive develops like muscle, and it becomes almost instinctive over time. So the more you are handling difficult things, your muscles, your tenacity to handle issues are becoming stronger. Nobody just becomes strong. Nobody just becomes bold. And the more you handle issues, you will begin to realize that my value increases based on the issues I am handling. And you will be more sought after, and this is where leadership comes, because leadership is about influence, is about making impact, is about solving problems. So there's something I'll recommend. Start saying no problem, no worries. I've learned to say that when you tell me something, I tell, okay, no worries, we'll see how we can do it. Even when I don't have any idea of how to do it, I say, okay, no problem, because I know that by the time I pause, consider it for a while, I will see what I can start doing. And once I see what I can start doing, I will also see the next step to take. And when I see that next step, I will also see the next step to take. Just because I pause, you might not get all the ideas at once. But when you pause, I say, okay, no problem. If this has happened, let's see how it goes. Especially maybe people want to live your life and you can, okay, you try to tell them, why can't you stay? They say, no, they need to go. Okay, no problem. It creates a vacuum, but now you pause and say, what can I do? What can I do to fill this vacuum? And you see that you see something. Something will happen. Something will happen until you bounce back, that everything that you've lost, you restore it back, even in a better fashion, in a better mode, you return it back. So, and also what you're doing, you are conditioning your mind to believe it. So practice these 5 steps and you find yourself being less stressed and feeling more in control of your emotions day by day. What is the catch to this training this evening? To be in control of your emotions day by day. Okay, so this is the summary I will give to you, or the conclusion of today's presentation. Emotions strongly influence decision making, creativity, and interpersonal relationships. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful how to manage our emotions so that it can influence the right decision. So it can help our creativity and interpersonal relationships. Like the example I gave, how do you relate with people even if they upset you? It helps you to build that interpersonal relationship. And like I said, take it a step at a time. It builds your creativity. Pause and consider. You will make the right decision. But yet, many leaders are uncomfortable with the topic of emotions and unable, and are unaware of its influence and impact on leadership, organizational structure, and performance. So leaders just feel that I'm paying you salary, so you should listen to everything I have to say. You should do everything I have to say. They come, they are shouting and say, look, I need to, I'm shouting on everybody so that they can walk. They will only walk when you're around. They will only walk when you are watching them, when you are supervising. When you don't, they go back. You must be able to, a leader will be respected when something happens. They want to learn first before they react. You become an honored leader. Conscious, courageous leaders are aware of the power that emotions hold. They harness it, make it work for them. Your emotions and how you handle your emotions are supposed to help you work for you. Okay, so this is my summary to you today. Please, as a leader, this teaching, you can get it on my YouTube channel, Uche Onoche. If you just go to YouTube, just put Uche Onoche, you'll see my channel there. You'll get this full teaching. For those of you, I see that Chigo came in, Deja, XTV joined, the Fifth Eye, and Collins. I also see that Lamine Cisse also joined us. So you guys, if you missed any part, you can get it in my YouTube channel. Thank you for showing up today. We're running a leadership series. We'll still run it for a while. And there are some tips that we know, some things we know, but we're not putting it into use, effective use. Some of those things I'll bring out for you here, and so that it can help you be a better person. So you need to be a better leader, so that you'll be able to be more effective in that which you do. So I want to thank you guys for coming out today. So if you want to ask me any questions, I might not be able to take questions here today, but I take questions on Wednesday. Wednesday by 4 p.m., I take questions. A guy wanted to ask me, say, oh, I'm at work by 4, I close by 5. I say, you can ask that question and go to YouTube and be able to get the answer to your questions. So you can ask questions. I tell people we have 5 areas of focus in Marketplace Apostle. We are not called to everything. We're not called to everything, so we are called to 5 areas, which is career development, business, leadership, personal finance, and relationship, as it regards to marriage, corporate relationships, and personal relationship. So these are the areas that we cover, the 5 areas that we cover as a foundation, and this is where all our trainings are centered. So if you want to ask me any question, you can ask me on what's on your mind Wednesday live by 4 p.m. I will be glad to take those questions. I'm sorry I can't take your questions because I don't want to stay more than 1 hour. So that we don't overstay. People have things to do. It's a Monday evening, and also on Wednesday, people might want to go to midweek service. So we try to keep it within 1 hour, and also people's concentration span might not last too long if you begin to load them with too much information. So ask all your questions. I will. Yes, Aduke Collins is a thank you. Thank you also for showing up. It's because you show up, that's why I am here. And so as I am teaching and mentoring, I'm also growing. So the essence of all this is that you grow and I also grow. So the more I am teaching, when you give, it's multiplied back to you. It's just like the 2 loaves and is it 2 loaves and 5 fish, or 5 fish, five loaves and 2 fish? As they were given, it was the mystery of multiplication started. So as I also give you, I am growing. I will just ask you, or just urge you to help me just send a notification. When you get this notification, it's Mondays 5 and Wednesdays 4 o'clock. It's not changing. When you get this notification, invite someone for us and let us all learn together and become better leaders, better people in the marketplace, especially for those in business, in leadership, and those in career. We need that. We also need a networking group where we can network and talk about things that affect us as a people. So I look forward to you inviting someone. Let us help ourselves as better people, our business people, career people. So I look forward to your questions on Wednesdays and also next Monday for another interesting topic on leadership. So I leave you guys here tonight. Have a good night rest. God bless you.